Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. Today I really have no agenda here. I'm not sure where this brew session is gonna go. I didn't make too many plans, but I do know one thing. I wanna have some coffee and I wanna share some time with you guys and hang out. So let's get right into it. Let's take it over to the other counter. I'm gonna pull a shot of espresso of the coffee we were dialing in last time, this Brazilian. The coffee I brought back from historical downtown Winter Garden, Florida. From Exum Coffee. And you guys saw last time I wanted to brew it a little bit faster. I already did that. I've been playing around with the coffee. I've pulled about another 3 or 4 shots with this coffee. And I think I actually took it like too fast. My first assessment of kind of like where I wanted to be with this coffee, I think it ended up being correct. I should be at grind size 20 and a half. And maybe do like a 20-second pre-infusion and maybe another 35 seconds at 9 bar. And I think that's the sweet spot for this one. This coffee, you saw that it's not roasted very dark. It's a pretty light coffee. It's very sweet. I already tried it as pour over also. I wanted to report back to you guys. And you know, it's not very exciting. There's not like enough acidity and like brightness and to make it something memorable for me, but it's, you know, very easy to drink, smooth and sweet. So if that's something that you appreciate in your pour overs, then by all means, you know, try something like this. You know what I would compare it to as far as for making pour overs would be the Starbucks, I think it's called Berenda blend or their blonde roast. It's very similar to this, sweet. Very easy to drink, really nice coffee. But again, not a lot of excitement. You guys know I like something more peaky. I definitely, most of the time, I could have this, you know, sometimes I would like to have something like this, but most of the time, 90% of the time, I want something with more punch, more acidity, more brightness, just something a little bit more exciting, at least for pour over. But for espresso, this to me is wonderful. So we're gonna play with it again today, pull a shot at, again, see if I can achieve that, like 20-second pre-infusion, maybe 30-second at 9 bar. I think that's the sweet spot for this one. Okay, and then I wanted to report back on the Owanda. This coffee ended up following suit to like most of the time what I get to where I like those longer extractions. I want something that it's extracted very well. That's when you get the most punch and the most out of it. This one did get sweeter like the longer you go. So if you brew it really fast, you'll get more on the acidity. If you brew it a little bit longer and you get like a better extraction out of it, you'll get more sweetness. Again, this one being the outlier, the Ethiopian, I think the Ethiopian I liked better anyway. The Ethiopian, you know, I would compare it to some geishas that I've had. Like it's very delicate in flavor. It gives you some highs and lows, but not very punchy, very tea-like, and kind of like what I've gotten from some of the geishas that I've tried. So, you know, if you haven't tried this one from Good Brothers, give it a shot. I still have some of it frozen. I think definitely this one, to me, it's, and again, this one was totally different because this one, the faster you go, you get a fast extraction and then the sweetness comes up. If not, you'll have too much acidity and just not enough on the sweetness. So by going faster with it, which is usually not what happens, but at least in my experience. So by going faster with this one, definitely gets sweeter and it becomes, to me, more delicate and just better all around cup. I could have it either way, but that was the best I got out of it. This one is not like that. This one, you kind of want that long brew time and really good extraction to get the most out of it. And then it will get sweeter and you just get a better cup that way. So, and again, this one, not very interesting. At least not for, you know, for pour overs, but But it's still good. It's really good coffee, and as espresso, I think it's where definitely, well, that's the reason why I bought it. So we're gonna pull another shot in a second. So, and the say we haven't gotten into yet, who knows, maybe in a little while we will, I don't know. I don't know where this video is gonna go. I just wanna pull a shot of espresso to get started, and then we'll chit chat for a little bit and maybe decide if we're gonna do something else. If not, we'll talk for a little while and see where this goes. All right, so let's go over to the other counter and pull a shot.
You call, I fall. There's a legacy between us. We grow, we go, but in the middle. Keep it up one more minute. Keep it up, you're so great. Standing, talking, you got me checkmate. No one's watching.
All right, so I have my scale ready. We're gonna dose out quickly our 18 grams and get this shot going. One more bean. All right, 18 grams. Let's see what we get from the niche zero today. Again, we're at 20 and a half as far as the grind size. Let me bring you guys in a little bit closer. Okay, should be focused there. You guys see once again the roast level. So these beans are definitely not roasted too dark. So for being a medium roast, I would say that they're a little bit more on the light side. And then you see the grind size. All right, here we go. You guys see the setup today. It's very simple today, keeping it simple. But I just like to give you guys something interesting to look at, you know, just something different. All right, let's see if we got our 18 grams. All right, there you see it. We might have lost the tiniest of bit, but it looks like we're close enough, so we'll move forward here. Okay, focus should be locked. Get the scale out of the way. Okay, first we fluff up the grounds in here to make sure everything's nice and fluffy. Again, this should be dialed in. We dialed this in, I think it was the very last video, right? So yeah, we should, and I've played with this coffee already, like I was saying, another maybe 4 shots, I think it was. And I did speed it up to the point that it was already like, it was not at its best. So definitely this coffee benefits from the long pre-infusion. That's why I kept it at 20 seconds. Sometimes I even go longer than that, but once you brew it past a certain point, then it's not at its best either. So I think 20-second pre-infusion and maybe 30-second at 9 bars where the perfect scenario for this coffee is, and we'll see if we can manage that. Okay, I haven't pulled any shots, so this is dry. Okay, make sure the focus is locked. Okay, we should be good there. Do some dough UDT. Okay, I have to reposition the phone for the tamp. Okay, it's perfectly level, little polish. Okay. Let's come in with the puck screen, the one from Gemini. Drop that in, let me lock in and we'll pull a shot. All right, all the cameras should be running here. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so we're gonna try the time more today again. You guys saw a glitch last time. Again, if the coffee brews like way too slow, a lot of times it'll start timing and then just stop before the shot has finished. And that's the only glitch that I've run into with this scale, and it's only when you're using the automatic espresso mode. But you guys know that's how I always use it. That's the whole reason why I got it, and I love using this mode. You know, some people have scales like this and they don't even use it this way. So, you know, I don't know. I rather the scale do its thing without me having to even think about it and just concentrate on the flow control and starting and stopping the machine and those kind of stuff and not worry about the scale at all. But anyway, since you guys know I always pull this Slayer type or long pre-infusion type shots, I always start with the paddle at 5 o'clock. Okay, we come in with our cup, you'll see that it tears by itself. And when you get the A flashing again, then you're ready to start brewing your shot. So now the scale will start timing as soon as it senses coffee, and it'll stop by itself when the shot finishes. And again, the only glitch that this has every now and then is that if it goes really slow, it'll just stop whenever and before it's done. And then you'll have to kind of go by the volume in the cup. If you always use the same cup, you can kind of manage that, but it throws the whole thing off and it's not ideal. It's not ideal. And my other scale, the Akaya, never glitches, never does anything like that. But you know, this is the, you know, one of those cases that you get what you pay for. All right, so let's go ahead. Now, it usually takes about 9 seconds before the pressure starts to show on the gauge. Here we go. And then I start closing it until it levels off at around 2.5 bar. And then I'll hang around here until my pre-infusion is done. Okay, we got first drip, we're at 20 seconds. I'm gonna ramp up. I think this shot is gonna run slow. Let's see. Well, it's picking up. Let's see, maybe not. We're at 9 bar. I do a 1 to 2.5, so 18 grams in and 45 grams out. Yeah, it's definitely gonna run slow. You know, that's how it goes. You know, it was dialed in, but it is what it is. It should still be fine as far as flavor. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, I stopped it at 45.4 grams, 45 seconds since first drip, 64 seconds overall. This shot ran like way slow, like I would say like 15, 20 seconds too slow. So All right, let's taste it. If it's good, I'm gonna have it, enjoy my shot. You know, this channel, it's about hanging out with you guys and spending the time. And yeah, just, you know, hanging out, enjoying our coffee and not worrying about the little details. But you know what? It looks beautiful. It's perfectly fine. I could see where, you know, there's a hint of bitterness creeping up in the background. It is smoother on the times I've gotten it faster. So like I said, this one ran like 15 seconds too slow. But this being such a lighter roast coffee is not, you know, it's not very dark. It can kind of handle you know, kind of like a long extraction. Again, guys, keep in mind that my actual brew temperature is not 95. I've already checked, and it's usually somewhere around 80 degrees, okay? Now, I know that the way I tested it, I probably had some loss by the time it hits the cup and all of that, so let's say 85. So I doubt it is like hotter than like 85 when it's hitting the puck, maybe 87 at most, but it's definitely not 95. All right, let me see. You know, definitely right now, on this particular shot, I'm getting a lot of that caramel. For sure, caramel. I wouldn't say milk chocolate, I would say dark chocolate, just because of the little bit of bitterness that's starting to creep in the background. As far as honey, you know, those are the tasting notes on the bag, by the way. By now you guys saw that, but caramel, honey, and milk chocolate. So milk chocolate, not dark chocolate. But again, because of the little bit of bitterness that's creeping up in the background, I would say dark chocolate, definitely the caramel. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know about the honey. I think I've gotten some of that when the shot has brewed faster. So you know what? I would say that the descriptors on the bag, it kind of lives up to the hype. Would I say that it's better than what we have from the Drippolator and what I had from the Congo Kivu from Good Brothers? I would say not quite. It's, you know, it's hard to say. I would need to try them all side by side, but from what I remember, I would say no, not quite. But you know what? The thing is that, remember, you get those perfect shots rarely. So even from the Drippolator, you brew it 10 times and you might get the one spectacular shot. And the same with the Congo Kivu. And maybe the same with this coffee. Maybe I brew it another 2, 3 more times, 5 times, and then I get the one perfect shot that I say, wow, this is a jewel of a coffee to make espresso, just like the other two. And you know, if you haven't been watching all the videos, you might not know what I'm talking about, the Drippolator and the Good Brothers Congo Kivu, but I've done videos on these two coffees. You would have to look through the videos or ask me and I'll provide you with the link. But I know that most of the folks watching, they've been watching like all the videos. So you know what, let me stop the GoPro before something happens here, and then give me a second to think about what it is I want to do. I don't know, maybe I want to pull another shot. Maybe I'll save this and put it in a cappuccino. What do I want to do here? Okay, give me a second. Let me think about it, stop this camera, and I'll get back with you guys in a second. All right, so I got everything ready to go again. We're gonna pull another shot. Then I'm gonna compare the two shots, but definitely, well, I went up by 2 notches. Now I'm up to 22 and a half. And you know, just coffee changes. You know, somebody left me a comment recently about having to adjust in between, like they'll brew today and then tomorrow they're making these tweaks and having to adjust again. And you know, that happens to everyone. That's just the way it works. From day to day, you have to make some tweaks. Maybe the coffee, as it ages, things happen. You know, maybe humidity, maybe the atmospheric conditions, I don't know, you know, but things happen and you have to keep adjusting. It's just what happens. You'll have it dialed into where you'll get, you know, hopefully a decent cup, or maybe even a better one, depending on what happens. So, but you have to stay like really consistent. You have to make these small tweaks and adjustments. It happens to all of us. We all have to deal with that. It's just the way it is. All right, so let's do another 18 grams. I had that little bit of coffee. I saved it, by the way, like half of it is still up there, but just a little bit of coffee already is making me feel better. Man, you gotta love coffee. Yeah, I was tired. I really was. You know, for me, I feel like the day's already like half gone, and it's still like the morning, but I already have done so much. And today I didn't have coffee because, you know, I went to the gym, I did all my normal things, but I didn't have coffee because I wanted to film with you guys, and you know, maybe I brew several times, and I don't want to like have like too much caffeine. So yeah, I should have had my morning coffee. I struggled a little bit, but yeah, I wanted to start recording earlier, and it didn't work out. So it's a little bit late for me. And you know, I'm feeling tired. I feel like if this was the afternoon brew, and it's not. This is still another morning brew. I didn't have a morning brew today, so this is my first morning brew, but just really late. Okay, so here we go. 18.1. We'll see what we get. And again, we went up by 2 notches. We are at 22 and a half. Tap the spout. 18.1. So exactly what we put in is what we got out. So let's do some puck prep. Okay, so let's get this thing ready. Pull another shot. Okay, I got a little mess. I don't know why, but okay, clean that up. Let's see. Again, dosing funnel, some WDT. You know, I had somebody leave me a comment on the video when we go to Keeper Coffee. Okay, the Keeper Coffee video that was in Portland, Oregon, and on that trip we took a drive up to Mount Hood. Okay, Mount Hood, and when you go up there, there is a ski resort. Okay, a ski resort that it's really famous. You know, maybe as I talk to you guys and tell you guys this little story, so we'll have a little story time today. Here we go, story time with Tom Neal. So yeah, when you go up to Mount Hood, over there in Portland, or Oregon, you go up to the ski resort. I can't recall the name right now off the top of my head, but I'll put it here on the screen so you guys could see what I'm talking about. And that ski resort became really famous for, you know, for probably more than one reason, but probably the main reason is the fact that it is used as a backdrop and the opening to the movie The Shining. All right, so for those of you that are interested in historical things, so they have a lot of, you know, history things here of how it used to be in the past. And one thing that I found interesting is this here, that it says that the 1980 movie The Shining, some of the shots of the hotel where they're supposed to be, or I think it's a hotel, a lodge or a house, wherever it is that it takes place, that they go to take care of the lodge in wintertime because it's closed for the season or whatnot. And that's where the character played by Jack Nicholson, he loses his mind in there and goes crazy. But anyway, some of the shots of the establishing shots of the movie, the opening scenes, are done here at this lodge. I got to check the film out again. I have to watch it. It's been years since I last saw it. And I remember when we were in Estes in Estes in Colorado. That is the hotel where Stephen King stayed at a room there, and he had the idea for the book, and it's where he started to come up with the whole storyline and everything. And then obviously a lot of the shots are just like Hollywood and studios, and apparently they grabbed some clips from here from the outside. And I believe there are some scenes also filmed in that hotel in Estes in Colorado. But anyway, just some fun facts, especially those of you that are fans of the movie, The Shining. I gotta see it again, see if I recognize the lodge from the outside. Anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. So, and the movie The Shining with Jack Nicholson, the famous movie, they stay in a hotel, and they're supposed to just kind of like keep it company, okay? Keep it heated and keep an eye on it and make sure that everything's running and stuff like that, because they close it in the winter time because it gets so cold. And that's just kind of the story of the movie. And they're supposed to be in Colorado, but they filmed at least the opening sequence is there in Oregon. And most of these scenes are probably shot in a Hollywood studio, but at least they used this scenery there from Mount Hood, and it made this ski resort very popular. And when you're walking around inside, you know what, I hope I don't forget to tell you the rest of the story, because this happened to me the other day. I didn't want to wait so long. People complain that I wait too long to lock in and pull the shot, and then that's why it's not tasting perfect. I don't think that it's that vital, guys. This is still very, very hot, believe me. It's only been a couple minutes here, but let me tamp and let me lock it in. Hold on. I hope I don't forget. And then I forget completely about telling you the rest of this story. Man, this is so crazy. That's why when when you're having a conversation, obviously you would have a chance to tell me, hey, what happened with the story? Oh, yeah. And then you go back and you finish, right? But that's what happens in conversation. But with my videos, there's nobody here. It's just, and then I forget, and I never tell you the rest of the story. But okay, we'll get back to that in a second. Let me pull my second shot and compare and do all that fun stuff before people start getting mad at me. They get triggered. Okay. Okay, my tamp was good. Yeah, I'm not gonna say perfect. I see it's not perfect, but it's good. All right, let's lock in and let's pull the second shot. Let me get the cameras ready. Okay, all the cameras should be running. Okay, so you guys saw the timer worked flawless on the last shot. So we'll run with it again. I got hot water in my other, let me get the cup. Okay, I had hot water in my other shot glass so it could be hot. Okay, let's pull the second shot and see if we can go faster here. Okay, so again, I wanted 20 seconds and maybe 30 seconds. And it ended up being 15, 20 seconds longer than that. So let's see where this one is. 2 notches up. It should definitely speed up. Okay, here comes the pressure. Let me level it off at 2.5. Okay, you see it dripping already. So, and we're only at 15 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna ramp up because that's already a lot of coffee on there. That can't even be considered pre-infusion. That's just flowing already. Okay, so we're at 9 bars. Yeah, this is way, way faster. Maybe too fast now. All right, let's see. Looking for 45. Okay, 44.7, 28 seconds. That's pretty close, 28 seconds from first drip, 38 overall. Okay, this is really close. It was just a tiny little bit faster than what I wanted. So this should be, from what I've been tasting out of this coffee, this should be the sweet spot. So let's compare it with the other one. So I left some of the other one up there. So yeah, the other one's not at its best anymore. It's been hanging around up there for a little bit. Let me stop this camera, hold on. Again, that camera that gives me the angle from the bottom, it freaks out if I leave it running too long. All right, so let's give it a swirl and taste it. Again, this coffee, not too much on the aroma, I gotta say. But the flavor is good for espresso. Definitely for pour over, you can enjoy it as well, but it's not gonna give you a lot of excitement. It won't give you a lot of like acidity and brightness and all that good stuff. All right, let's compare. Let's compare here. Yeah, you see now, I can maybe say honey for sure, but on the caramel, I would say more like that salted caramel because I'm starting to get a little bit of that saltiness in the coffee. Again, because the brightness, the acidity came up a little bit. This coffee does have acidity, just not a lot. But definitely on the espresso, you will get it. On pour overs, not as much. Okay, but compared to this one, wow, they're pretty different, but I can't say that one is like way better than the other because this one, you get more of the caramel, you don't get the saltiness. You do get a tiny of the bitterness. With this one, you get that saltiness. You get more on the acidity. You can taste the flavors a little bit. As far as the honey, for sure, it comes in. On this one, you don't get that. I would be perfectly okay with either one. They're different and they're way different. Right now, you could really taste a difference. This one, I would say more the dark chocolate. This one more like a milk chocolate. But the saltiness, wow. If I could like keep everything that this has, but without the saltiness like this one here, as far as only the saltiness, okay, then for sure this shot would be superior, for sure. Now maybe I can pull another shot and you get the one perfect shot where you don't get so much of that saltiness, the sweetness comes up a bit, and then it's the perfect shot. But that just almost never happens. I think this bag of coffee is capable of giving me one of those memorable shots like that, like I got from the Dripillator and from the Congo Kivu. The Dripillator was just one of those situations. It just happened. It was the very first shot I did too. After that, I never quite got that level of like really good. And the Congo Kivu, it's happened once, maybe twice. It just, those perfect shots, man, are far and in between. But I gotta say, I mean, that's my take. This is a great coffee for espresso. I could enjoy either one of these two. This one here will give you more of the dark chocolate, nothing on the honey, but none of the saltiness or almost none of the saltiness. This one has where I would say that like that salted caramel because of that saltiness for sure. But you can taste the honey and I would say maybe it's a little bit sweeter like the milk chocolate, but then the saltiness is a bit too heavy where I don't have it here. So that's what I'm saying. I can enjoy either one. That's my take. I don't know what else to say. Let's go to the other counter and should I make a cappuccino? Okay, I don't know. Again, I'm gonna need a second. Maybe I'll make a cappuccino and combine both of these, the rest of the coffee, and make a cappuccino. And then meet you guys at the other counter. And then I'll tell you the rest of the story. Okay, so again, I got a little bit too much foam. Look at that layer. But I still got a nice little heart. You know, it's not very pronounced because, again, I had so much foam that it kind of got light in color. But, you know, overall, it's still a nice, if you serve that to someone, it's still pretty nice. So I'll take it, I'll take it. Let's go over to the other counter and let me tell you guys the rest of that story. All right, so cheers. I hope you guys brewed something tasty to go along with me here. Spectacular. Why wouldn't it be? Man. I think the balance is just right between the coffee and the milk. Being that I had the rest of both of those shots and the quantity of milk here. You guys know that what makes the difference between all the milk-based drinks that have espresso is, you know, the ratio between the amount of espresso to the amount of milk to the amount of foam. Because it's basically the same three ingredients for all the drinks. For example, the cortado is a 1-to-1 and not much foam. A cappuccino is a 1-to-2 with a nice layer of foam. A latte is a lot more milk, less espresso. And usually they also put a pretty nice layer of foam on a latte. Then you got the flat white, which is like a latte, but without so much foam, and so on and so forth. Okay, so back to our story time. So I started telling you this story because, again, somebody left me a comment on the video when we were in Portland, Oregon. We went out to Keeper Coffee. And that same day after Keeper Coffee, we headed out to Mount Hood, and we went up there to go see that ski resort. And you know, it became famous because of the movie The Shining. But you know, I'll try to include some clips here. So I think the mountaintop is right here, but it's inside the clouds. This is the lodge. Look at the icicles on the windows. I don't know if you could see it from here, but huge icicles. And the ski area is over here. Let me see if I can walk in and see some of the skiing area over here before I go in the lodge. Man, and I'm in tennis shoes. My feet are gonna get all wet. Oh boy. There's the lifts. Here's some guys. Okay, that's a long way down. I don't wanna. Oh, here goes a skier right here. I guess you can come out of the lodge and you go right down this this slope here. Takes you right into where you can grab the lifts that take you to the different runs. Here comes cameraman. Check her out. She's freezing. It's not that cold if you're moving around. Anyway, this is that structure that you see where you walk in. That red kind of substance you see on the floor everywhere, little rocks, that is salt that they use so that the ice can melt and keep the roads clear. Okay. I have a little game room. That's pretty cool. Some old school skis. The history of the lodge. An anvil. You don't see that every day. Well, I guess you do if you're in that kind of business. But the front desk. All right, well, this is the lobby of the lodge. All right, so here's another interesting piece of history, at least for me, okay? So you see this here? It's a Pee-Chee folder. When I was in high school, everyone had these. This is what everyone used to use. They sold them at the bookstore in the school. And man, oh wow, that's memories right there. Okay, here's the other interesting fact, right? So in the Pee-Chee folder, okay, you see the lady on the lift. Okay, she's skiing. It looks like that it's an image from here, from this ski resort. And there's the original image. And then it was incorporated into the Pee-Chee folder. Wow, I saw that so many times when I was in high school. Who would have thought one day I would be at the lodge? I mean, I never even thought about the pictures, if they were real. I thought they were just drawings. I mean, back in the day, I thought they were just, imaginary, not real. But no, this one it's a real one. Really, really cool. So here's where you access the ski area. You get on the chairs, the lifts, they take you to the slopes you want to hit. But the conditions right now are no bueno. Here comes the cameraman. Anyway, it's very pretty. Anyone watching this video, if you've never seen it snow, it really is something. Cameraman has totally lost her mind. She's still out there taking selfies under a snowstorm. Oh my goodness. And kind of show you guys a little bit of what I recorded that day. I always meant to do a specific video as to that ski resort and our trip out to Mount Hood, and I never got around to making that one. I think for the trip to Portland, Oregon, I think I did 3 videos, maybe even 4 videos. So that would have been a 5th video on that for that trip. But they're there on the channel. If you guys see, just before I started making nothing but coffee videos, and moving forward, this is just a coffee channel. But just before I started making just coffee videos, it was that trip to Portland, Oregon, and those videos are there. But anyway, on the intro to the video for Keeper Coffee, and by the way, the intro for that video, spectacular, is my favorite one that I've done. All the ones from Portland, I did change some of the clips and some of the images, so they're all a little bit different. But wow, they were spectacular intro because of we went out there for that Orchid Festival, and it just the Oregon coast is just spectacular. We went out to Cannon Beach, which Cannon Beach became famous because of the movie The Goonies. It was filmed there in Cannon Beach, and just spectacular coastline, spectacular area of the country, just beautiful. But anyway, on the intro of that Keeper Coffee video, I'm showing different clips and images as the music is playing, and then I show when it's right after the clip where you could see The Shining, the little poster from The Shining, the cover of the movie. And then it cuts to an image that I'm pointing to, a Pee-Chee folder that they had hanging on the wall. So if you're from the 80s, you probably know what, and you're from here, from the United States, you probably know what Pee-Chee folders are all about. But they were these cardboard folders. I'll try to find a picture online and put it here. But somebody left me a comment saying, "Oh, that's the album cover from Alien Ant Farm." So I've heard the name of that band before, but I'm not familiar with them. So I Googled it, I looked it up, and sure enough, they used for their album cover the Pee-Chee folder. So I commented back to the person, "Oh, that's the Pee-Chee folder." And then I told them that, when I was in high school, that's what everybody used. Okay, you had maybe 2 or 3 of those things, one for English, one for history, one for biology or whatever, or if you were messy like me, you probably stuff all the papers into one and you just had one. But Pee-Chee folders is what everyone used to use. So you could go to the student store, and I believe they used to sell them for 10 cents. You could just pick one up for, I think it was 10 cents. For sure, it was not more than a quarter. Maybe it was a quarter. I don't know. It wasn't more than that, for sure. And, now I looked it up online. You know how much is a Pee-Chee folder on eBay? $30. If you had a bunch of those from the 80s, you could be making a ton of money on those, selling them online. Something else interesting is that, it did rain a lot while we were in Portland, a whole bunch. But the day we were going up to the mountain, it was not raining. It was not even sprinkling. There was nothing happening. And as we started driving up, the conditions started to change. And I'll put some, if you haven't seen it by now, include a clip here of when we're driving up the mountain and how much snow there was piled up against the sides of the road. It was absolutely incredible. It could cover the car. It was so much snow. And as while we were up there, it just started snowing and conditions started to get like taking a turn for the worse. And man, it was a huge snowstorm. And you know what? We left in the middle of it because, the drive is pretty safe. It's not like, there's not a lot of like chances of you like falling off the road or anything. Even if you were to skid off a little bit, nothing would happen. So at least the road we were on. So, we decided, it doesn't matter, we'll just drive down. We drove down during the snowstorm. And funny enough, as soon as we got off the mountain, it wasn't snowing. It was not even raining. It's only up there, which is it was pretty crazy. Usually, it's at least raining or something when you get off the mountain. But in this case, it was pretty much dry. So yeah, I thought, that the experience there in Mount Hood and Portland, Oregon, the coast, just beautiful, beautiful area of the country. If you haven't been and you can, make it out there. It's really nice. So yeah, now that one of you guys mentioned Alien Ant Farm, maybe I'll look into that band and check them out, see what they have to offer. I heard of them, but I've never listened to their music. The Pee-Chee folder. So do any of you guys remember those things? I definitely used to use them. And in my school, that's pretty much what everyone used, Before, I remember in elementary and junior high school, people had a more the kids, they had, maybe their parents had the say in it, so they would buy them something really nice to, with pockets to put your pens and this and that. But by the time you get to high school, you just carry the plain thing and just put your papers in there, and it's what everyone used. Sad to see you go, buddy. So anyway, that was story time for today. I enjoyed my time here with you guys. You guys know that, the purpose for my channel is just kind of to share with you guys my afternoon brews or morning brews or whatever it is. Just share with you guys my experiences in my coffee adventures and just to kind of hang out and keep you company for a little while. I thank you guys a whole bunch for coming back Sunday after Sunday and hanging out here with me. But if there's something specific that you want me to talk about, I try to remember your comments and bring some of the things up here on the channel when I'm filming and talk about those things. But yeah, leave me a comment. I answer everyone, so for sure you'll get an answer from me one way or another. I have to say, there's been some situations where people have left me comments on an older video and I have not been notified. And if that happens, I don't find out that somebody left me a comment, then obviously I won't answer because I have 200 coffee videos now. So if I'm not notified, I probably wouldn't find out that somebody left me a comment. But usually I do get notified, and especially if it's a new video, I look through all the comments and I answer everyone. So yeah, reach out. You can also reach out on Instagram. I answer everyone. My Instagram is always here at the end of the videos. You get my Instagram and you get the playlist to the coffee related videos. So if you want to look through all the coffee videos, just click on the playlist. They'll pop up and then you just search through there for whatever you want to watch. Again, we have I mean, in total, I have a whole bunch of videos in the channel, but coffee videos is more over 100 by now. So there's plenty to watch. So thank you guys for spending the time with me here today. I appreciate you guys a whole bunch. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.